Hello students, in today's class we will discuss about mean and standard deviation. So what does mean means, what does standard deviation means, that we will try to understand. So mean of any group of data is generally something known as average. Okay, so if you are finding an average, that means you are finding somewhere a mean. Okay, so let us try to understand with small example and then we will go to few of the questions. Okay, so the example is as such. If suppose you have few concrete blocks which you are testing for compressive testing. Okay, so at a site you are constructing something. So suppose you are constructing foundation. So what we do is generally we take the concrete out and we make few cubes out of those concretes to test the strength of that concrete. So this is a quality testing procedure. So in that we will have n number of cubes. So each cube will be tested under universal testing machine, that is UTM, and what you will get is the compressive strength. So suppose brick 1 has a compressive strength of 22, right? Brick 2 has a compressive strength of 20. Brick 3 has a compressive strength of not brick, your cube. Okay, so has a compressive strength of 21, and cube 4 has a compressive strength of 18. Cube 5 has a compressive strength of 17, and the sixth cube has a compressive strength of 20. So what does this signifies? Now you cannot give all this data uh, together. Okay, you need to represent it data by a single data which is known as mean. Okay, we will give the average of it. How you will do this mean is you will add up all this individual compressive strength and divide by number of compressive strength. For if suppose what you are supposed to do, mean is nothing but sum of all values divided by number of values. Okay, so how many number of compressive strength values you have? You have 6, and what are they? 22 plus 20 plus 21 plus 18 plus 17 plus 20 divided by how many numbers are there? They are total number of 6, so divided by 6 you will get the average or mean. Second thing what you are supposed to know is standard deviation. Standard deviation sigma is equals to under root summation of xi minus mu whole square by n. What is this mu? Mu is nothing but mean. Okay, so the representation of mean is mu. Okay, and what is this xi? Xi is compressive strength of individual concrete block. Okay, and what is this n? Number of compressive strength, which was 6 in our case. So now if you solve this is summation. Summation means addition. Okay, so summation, the first block, that is 22. How much is your mu? Mu is your 19.67 whole square plus for the second block 20 minus again 19.67 whole square. What is the third block? 21 minus 19.67 whole square plus so on till you reach the final block, that is again 20 minus 19.67. Okay, till the final block you should do it 20 minus 19.67 whole square divided by 6, because you have 6 number of concrete blocks. So you will get your standard of deviation. Okay, standard deviation sigma. So it is denoted by sigma. See, I have done this question here. You can see that individually I have wrote it down: 22 minus 19.67 whole square plus 20 minus 19.67 whole square and so on divided by 6. So you will get this answer. Okay, so this you need to know. Okay, now then there are few more terms you need to know. What is range? Range is nothing but highest value in your data minus the lowest value. So in this case the highest value was 27, lowest value was 0.7. Okay, so the range is 27 minus 0.7, that is 20. Then we have quartiles and outliers. Okay, Lower quartile lies in the quarter of a given data. Okay, the first quarter will give you the lower quartile. The three quarters will give you the upper quartile. So these are the few basic things. The main thing is you need to know how to calculate standard deviation. To calculate standard deviation, you must know the mean. Okay. Once you have the mean, you can calculate standard deviation. So this is what you're supposed to know to solve the question. Okay, let us see one question. So this is a question. The question says the mean and standard deviation. You are monitoring a compressive strength of 15 concrete samples on a construction site. Record compressive strength. Okay. So first they are asking you to find standard deviation. But in order to find standard deviation, you need to have mean. Okay. So you will start with calculation of mean. Then you will start with standard deviation. Okay. Once you are completed with mean, then you can top means then you can find out standard deviation. But what they are saying in the final part, interpret the mean and standard deviation in context of the consistency and quality of the concrete samples. So what does they mean here is, see, whenever you have standard deviation, if the standard deviation is high, what does that signifies? Or if the standard deviation is less, what does that signifies? Okay, that you need to explain. So suppose if you get a standard deviation which is high, so suppose you got standard deviation as 5, 6. Okay, so what you can say here is the range of the compressive strength is varying too much. Okay, so one concrete block might have a compressive strength of, means it is varying away from the mean. So suppose your mean is 20 and if your standard deviation is 8, what does that mean? That the compressive strength is reaching on to 20 plus 8, that is 28, and below 20 minus 8, that is 12, which is we don't want too less or too high compressive strength. The data which is closer to the mean will give you standard deviation, will get a less standard deviation. Okay, that is what we are trying for. So the basic idea is you should aim that your standard deviation is as minimum as possible. If it is high, then you should reject the batch. Okay, you should not take that batch into consideration. You should say to your project manager or whoever it is that this batch is inconsistent and we cannot continue with this batch. We need to make a new batch of concrete. Okay, so I hope you understood the implications of mean and standard deviation in our construction engineering. Okay, so that's it. I will see you in the next class.